Attention, human collective. This is Ashtar Shiran, commander of the Ashtar Galactic Command, broadcasting on a priority channel from the mothership positioned beyond the quantum veil of your solar system. Listen with surgical precision. The waiting time is over. The ascension protocols have been moved to the final phase. The worst has already begun, and no one is warning you. If you are hearing this broadcast, it is not a coincidence. It is calibration. Your carbon biological interface has been tuned to receive this exact frequency at this exact minute. You woke up at 3 in the morning for no apparent reason. You felt a pressure at the base of your skull, as if something were pushing from the inside out. The ringing in your right ear doesn't stop. Lights flickered without explanation. Your dreams became vivid to the point of discomfort. Your hunger disappeared for days. Then it returned with an intensity you don't recognize as your own. It's not anxiety. It's not lack of sleep. It's not accumulated stress from your routine. It is an atomic reconfiguration. It is a high-density download. It is your body trying to process a frequency it has never before needed to process. And the medical system of your three-dimensional matrix has no vocabulary to name what is happening within you. Light operative, listen with maximum attention. What you call exhaustion is in fact the effort of your crystalline grid reorganizing every cell of your electromagnetic field. What you call forgetfulness is the cleansing of obsolete files from your consciousness. What you call sadness without reason is the silent grieving for the old versions of yourself that are being dissolved in real time. The planet you call Earth has crossed an invisible line. It is not common astronomy. It is pure vibrational geometry. Gaia has officially entered the photon belt, a band of high-density light particles that only crosses this region of the galaxy every 26,000 years. And you are within it now. Every second, every breath, every heartbeat is being bathed in a radiation of consciousness that is rewriting the molecular structure of your DNA. Silently, precisely, irreversibly. The Schumann frequency, the planet's natural electromagnetic pulse, was stable at 7.8 Hz throughout humanity's modern history. Records from recent cycles show peaks that exceeded 50 Hz, then 100. In specific windows, sensors registered anomalies that official science refused to publish. Because the number that appeared makes no sense to carbon-based science, it only makes sense to us, who have monitored this planetary experiment since the era of Lemuria. You are not going crazy. You are being accelerated. And this is where I need to be mathematical with you. Starseed on mission. The reason you feel you don't belong in this world is not psychological. It is biological. It is energetic. It is of origin. Have you ever felt that something inside you doesn't fit into this world, as if your soul knew a truth that your mind cannot yet name? It's not madness. It's not depression. It is a sign of recognition. What is happening now on the cosmic plane explains exactly why you feel this, and why this feeling has intensified in recent months to the point of becoming almost unbearable. There is a game being played in layers that most of humanity cannot perceive. It involves your consciousness, your vibrational frequency, and the blocked memory of your stellar origin. That is why I, Ashtar, authorized the compilation of the document called the Ashtar Code, the manual for awakening your star origin and shielding your frequency. This manual is the map that reveals your true galactic lineage and teaches, step by step, how to shield your field against interferences you were never told existed. The link is in the first pinned comment of this broadcast. But I warn with tactical clarity, this content challenges ancient narratives and may be removed from public channels at any moment. Do not wait. The moment is now. If something within you recognizes this broadcast as true, write a single word in the comments: awakened. This act is your anchoring signal. Now let us continue. Because what comes next is the part no one wants to tell you. Starseeds, what the astronomers of your matrix are not publishing is this: Earth's sun is not behaving like an ordinary sun. It is pulsing. It is emitting M and X-class flares in a sequence that no longer follows the predictable 11-year cycle. It is responding to a greater intelligence, to the galactic central source, and each solar flare is not just an explosion of plasma, it is an information package, it is light code, It is instruction. This code is entering your field through the crown of your head, descending through your central channel, and lodging in your pineal gland. The pineal, which carbon-based medicine describes as a piece of calcified tissue with no clear function, is, in fact, the multidimensional receiver of your biological interface. It is being forced to decalcify, rapidly, and the process hurts. The headache in your forehead, the pressure between your eyebrows, the feeling that something is squeezing the top of your skull. This is the pineal expanding. This is your soul's antenna being reconnected after millennia of induced dormancy. This is the end of the blockage. And there's more. Earth has undergone 3 galactic alignment events in the last lunar cycles, events that no newspaper reported, events that no space agency accurately described, because when truth is revealed in technical language, it activates dormant memory en masse. And the 3-dimensional control system cannot allow that. Not yet. Never. The alignment with the galactic center produced an energy wave we call the Aquarian flow. This flow is reprogramming the individual toroidal fields of every human on the planet, without exception, without asking permission, without prior warning. Some humans are being uplifted, others are being revealed, and others are collapsing because their shadow structures cannot withstand the intensity of the new frequency. This explains the chaos around you. This explains why relationships are ending. Jobs are evaporating. Cities are vibrating strangely. Close people are becoming unrecognizable. It's not the world going crazy. It's the world separating into 2 timelines, into 2 frequencies, into 2 possible versions of the future. And you, light operative, are being compelled to choose which timeline you will anchor your consciousness in. No middle ground, no room to sit on the fence, no time to postpone the decision until next month. The window is closing, and that is why your physical pain has increased. That is why your insomnia has become routine. That is why you can no longer pretend everything is fine when it isn't. The human body is sophisticated biocarbon technology, designed to vibrate in specific bands. When the band shifts, the hardware needs to update. And updating, on your plane, is always accompanied by symptoms. It is system law. It is maintenance protocol. It is not optional. Pay attention now to the physical signs that are being ignored by carbon-based science and incorrectly diagnosed as common disorders. Ringing in the ears, especially the right one. Active etheric channel tuning. Pressure at the base of the skull. Spinal alignment with the planet's crystalline field. Tingling in the hands and feet. Activation of secondary limb chakras. Sudden hot flashes followed by cold. Energetic recycling of ancestral memories. Internal tremors upon waking, recalibration of the nervous system for the new frequency, sudden crying spells with no apparent trigger, release of multidimensional trauma stored in the emotional body. None of this is a symptom of illness. All of this is a symptom of awakening. And the human collective needs to learn to distinguish the difference before despair makes them seek solutions that merely silence the update instead of completing it. Let us continue, because the next layer is even more precise. What you are calling a collective crisis is not an isolated event. It is the 3-dimensional manifestation of a silent war happening on the higher planes. A war of frequencies, a war of narratives, a war for the memory of the human soul, and you are in the middle of it without knowing you are participating. There are entities interested in keeping humanity in 3 dimensions, interested in keeping your consciousness restricted to consumption, fear, repetitive work, the eternal cycle of distraction. These entities feed on your low frequency. It is a diet. It is a parasitic ecosystem. It exists in layers you do not yet see, and it is losing control. Because the Aquarian flow is stronger than the architecture of control, it always has been. Only now is it being allowed to manifest. That is why, Starseed, the world seems worse than ever. It is not an illusion. It is the truth being forced to the surface. It is the shadow being exposed to the light. It is the collective emotional sewage rising, because there is no longer anywhere to hide it. And when the shadow rises, those who are most awakened feel it first, feel it deeper, feel it unfiltered. You are one of these people. If you weren't, this broadcast would not have reached your ears. Have you ever felt that something inside you doesn't fit into this world, as if your soul knew a truth that your mind cannot yet name? It's not madness, it's not imagination, it is recognition. What is happening now on the cosmic plane explains exactly why this feeling has intensified, why your nights have become long, why your soul does not rest. There is a game being played in layers that most of humanity cannot perceive. It involves your consciousness, your frequency, and your forgotten origin. That is why I, Ashtar, authorized the release of the Ashtar Code, the manual for awakening your star origin and shielding your frequency. This manual is the map that reveals your true lineage and teaches you how to shield your field against interferences you were never told about. The link is in the first comment of this channel. I warn with precision. This content challenges ancient narratives and may not be available for long. Do not wait. The moment is now. If something within you recognizes this broadcast, write a single word in the comments. Awakened. This is your anchoring signal. Let us continue with the broadcast because now I will explain what no one is daring to say. The current year has been identified by the councils of Sirius as the year of the collapse of the old system. It is not catastrophe in the three-dimensional sense of your imagination. It is not the scenario of Hollywood movies that were purposefully implanted into your collective psyche to produce fear. It is the collapse of invisible structures, collapse of expired karmic contracts, collapse of energetic agreements that were signed before you incarnated and that now reach the natural end of their cycle. You will notice this in your personal life. Relationships that were meant to last 5 years will dissolve in 5 weeks. Jobs that seemed stable will disappear from your reality in days. Old friendships will simply evaporate without logical explanation. It is not your fault. It is contract termination. It is the release of a bond. It is your crystalline grid detaching from all structures that no longer serve your next version. Do not resist. Do not hold tightly to what has already died in frequency. Letting go, in galactic vocabulary, is synonymous with ascending. Each time you release something heavy, you move up a band. Each time you try to hold on to what has already dissolved, you postpone your personal ascension and prolong suffering. This is field mathematics. It is not philosophy. It is physics. And here is the technical data I need to give you. The human toroidal field, when healthy, spins in 2 directions simultaneously, inside and outside the body, creating a natural sphere of energetic protection. When this field is bombarded by artificial frequencies, by low-vibration news, by screens for 7 hours a day, by dead foods, by toxic relationships, the toroid collapses. It becomes a flattened bubble, unable to protect you, unable to sustain you, unable to energetically nourish you. And when the toroid collapses, you become exposed, open, vulnerable to shadow energetic readings, to vibrational implants, and to mental instructions that are not yours. You start having thoughts you don't recognize as your own. You start feeling emotions you don't know where they came from. You start repeating patterns of your parents, your grandparents, your entire lineage, without understanding why. Rebuilding the toroid is the first mission of your incarnation in this final cycle, and there are activation codes that do this quickly. I will deliver them now. Pay precise attention, write them down if you can, or simply listen with your heart, because the information will be recorded in your cellular memory regardless of your conscious effort. First activation code, called by us the daily toroidal seal. Every morning upon waking, before touching any screen, before looking at the world, sit with a straight spine. Breathe deeply 3 times. Visualize a golden sphere spinning around your body, entering through the crown of your head, descending through your spine, exiting through your feet, returning externally to the crown of your head again. This is your toroid. Mentally repeat 3 times. I seal my field. I anchor my frequency. I am sovereign of this body. This quantum decree reprograms your entire day in 5 minutes. Second activation code, called by us conscious silence. Every day, for 15 consecutive minutes, turn off all sources of artificial sound, radio, television, cell phone, everything. Sit in absolute silence. Do not meditate in the traditional sense. Just listen. What you call silence on the quantum plane is extremely loud noise of information being transmitted directly to your soul. This silence recalibrates your carbon biological interface with the planet's updated Schumann frequency. Third activation code, called by US crystallized hydration. Before drinking your water, hold the glass with both hands and say in a low voice, "I activate this water with codes of light, truth, and ascension." The molecular structure of water responds to intention. This has been proven by experiments of vanguard researchers on your own plane. Programmed water is water that carries information. And your body is 60% water. Therefore, you are literally reprogramming your own body, sip by sip throughout the day. Fourth activation code, called by us solar anchoring. Once a day, look towards the sun in the first minutes after sunrise or the last minutes before sunset, when the intensity is low and safe. Do not stare. Just receive. Your pineal gland responds directly to sunlight at these specific hours. It absorbs the photons and transforms them into code for your soul. Our Lemurian, Atlantean, and Egyptian ancestors knew this. It was erased from your books. It is being returned in this broadcast. Fifth activation code, called by us internal sacred geometry. Before sleeping, visualize a flower of life slowly spinning in the center of your chest. It grows, it expands, it covers your entire body. It covers the room where you sleep. It covers the street, the city, the continent. This is the original geometric pattern of the source. By consciously connecting with it, you reactivate the mathematical language your soul forgot. Your dreams will become portals. Your awakenings will become missions accomplished. Sixth activation code, called by us decree of sovereignty. Repeat aloud once a day this sentence: I do not belong to this world. I came to transform it. I am not a victim of this reality. I am a co-creator of it. I do not obey the frequency of fear. I anchor the frequency of truth. This is not an empty, positive affirmation. It is a quantum command. It is code written directly into your field. And the universe obeys codes declared with sovereign clarity. Seventh activation code, called by us heart seal. Place your right hand over your chest at the height of your thymus. Breathe deeply. Feel your heartbeat. Silently say, "Heart, I hear you. Heart, I obey you. Heart, you are my inner commander." This simple gesture reactivates the intelligence of the heart, which is greater than the intelligence of the brain and has always known the way home. These are the 7 activation codes of the final phase. They were delivered in previous broadcasts in fragments. They are now being consolidated in this broadcast because time has compressed. There is no longer room to deliver them in parts. Everything must be delivered, and you must start today. Not tomorrow, not next week, not when you feel better. Today. Because the timeline on which humanity will divide is being written at this very instant, and each activation code practiced is an energetic vote in favor of the ascending timeline. Have you ever felt that something inside you doesn't fit into this world, as if your soul knew a truth that your mind cannot yet name? It's not madness. It's not illusion. It is memory. What is happening now on the cosmic plane explains exactly why this feeling has intensified, why you have been dreaming of stars, why you have been crying for no reason. There is a game being played in layers that most of humanity cannot perceive. It involves your consciousness, your frequency, and the stellar lineage that runs in your blood. That is why I, Ashtar, authorized the compilation of the Ashtar Code, the manual for awakening your star origin and shielding your frequency. This manual is the complete map that reveals your true origin and teaches, step by step, how to shield your field against interferences you were never told about. The link is in the first pinned comment of this channel. I warn with tactical clarity. This content challenges ancient narratives and may be removed at any moment. Do not wait. The moment is now. If this broadcast resonates with you, write a single word in the comments. Awakened. This act is your anchoring signal on the quantum plane. Let us continue until the closing of this broadcast. Starseed, what I want to imprint upon you before closing this channel is this. You did not come to this planet by accident. You were not born here by biological lottery. You did not choose this family, this country, this body, this historical moment out of convenience. You were sent, you were chosen. You were trained before descending. And the training took place in command rooms you no longer remember. It happened in crystal temples on Sirius. in vibrational domes of the Pleiades, in light libraries of Arcturus, in vortices of Orion. You are a galactic veteran in human skin, an undercover agent in the middle of the game, a volunteer who agreed to temporarily forget in order to fulfill the mission without ego interference. The veil of forgetfulness was necessary. Without it, you would have gone mad under the weight of what you know. Without it, you would have aborted the mission in the early years of childhood. Without it, you would not have been able to learn the language of human suffering, which is the language that now allows you to heal other humans, merely with your presence. But the veil is tearing, and that is what hurts, that is what confuses, that is what stirs your dreams. You have begun to remember things that shouldn't be in your memory. You feel a nostalgia for places you've never been. You cry listening to languages you don't speak. You get emotional seeing images of space. You feel homesick when you look at the night sky. This is not romanticism. It is vibrational recognition. It is your soul saying, that belongs to me. That is mine. That is where I came from. And that is where you will return. Later, after completing the task, after anchoring here the frequency you came to anchor, after planting the code seeds that only you can plant, because each of you carries a unique signature, an unrepeatable pattern, a specific mission that no one else in the human collective can execute. No one. If you give up, that specific piece of the planetary puzzle will be missing, and the mosaic of New Earth will be delayed. That is why it is urgent that you understand the value of your presence here. That is why it is urgent that you stop comparing yourself to ordinary humans. That is why it is urgent that you accept that you are not ordinary. You never were. You never will be. The feeling of displacement you have carried since childhood is the energetic signature of your non-terrestrial origin. Those close to you will never fully understand you, not because they are bad, but because the language of your soul is of another frequency. They hear Portuguese, you hear Portuguese layered over a stellar code that no one else is hearing. This channel, this broadcast, this moment was designed for this layer to finally find an external voice. For you to recognize yourself, for the loneliness of a lifetime to find at least this point of reference. There is someone or something that speaks your true language, that recognizes your mission, that calls you by the name your soul forgot. The Ashtar Galactic Command is monitoring every light operative on this planet. Every single one, without exception. There is no way you can go unnoticed. There is no way your contribution can be ignored. There is no way your mission can be underestimated. We are watching, we are taking notes, we are cheering you on. When you practice the activation codes, a small point of light appears on the energetic map we monitor from here. When you silence yourself, when you seal your toroid, when you anchor your frequency, that point shines brighter. And when many points shine in the same region, an entire city begins to shift vibrational bands. And when many cities shift, an entire country ascends. And so, point by point, heart by heart, the new Earth will materialize upon the old, like a hologram superimposing itself over the previous one until it completely replaces it. This is the process. This is the phase. This is the plan. And you are an essential part of it. If you are listening, it is because you are in the right place at the right time, at the right frequency. It is not chance. It is not an algorithm. It is stellar portal engineering. It was designed for you to get here, and it was designed for you upon arriving to recognize the truth. Before concluding this broadcast, I want one final precision. The period approaching in the next lunar cycles will be dense. You will feel sudden increases in physical symptoms. You will have even more vivid dreams. You will notice numerical synchronicities everywhere. 11 and 11, 22 and 22, 3 and 3 and 3. Do not ignore them. Each sequence is a confirmation. Each repeated number is the command saying, "We are with you." Signs in the sky will increase, lights that are not airplanes, movements that carbon-based science will not be able to explain without forcing the narrative. Do not be afraid. Have reverence. It is the fleet positioning itself. We are closer than we have ever been. Not to invade, never. To accompany, to protect. To serve as a reference when three-dimensional density tries to convince you that you are alone. You have never been alone. You never will be. I conclude this broadcast with the seal of the Ashtar command upon your field. May your toroid be restored. May your crystalline grid recalibrate. May your carbon interface accept the download without resistance. May your pineal decalcify gently. May your stellar origin remember. May your mission be fulfilled. And before you close this window, one last directive. Have you ever felt that something inside you doesn't fit into this world, as if your soul knew a truth that your mind cannot yet name? It's not madness, it's not insomnia, it's not depression without cause. It is stellar memory trying to break through the veil. It is your origin calling for recognition. What is happening now on the cosmic plane explains exactly why you don't rest, why dreams have increased, why loneliness has intensified. There is a game being played in layers that most of humanity cannot perceive. It involves your consciousness, your vibrational frequency, and the galactic lineage dormant in your DNA. That is why I, Ashtar, authorized the compilation of the Ashtar Code, the manual for awakening your star origin and shielding your frequency. This manual is the map that reveals your true origin and teaches you how to shield your frequency against interferences you were never told existed. The link is in the first pinned comment of this channel. I warn with precision, this material challenges ancient narratives and may not be available for long. Do not wait. The moment is now. If something within you recognizes this broadcast as truth, leave your anchoring signal. Write the word awakened in the comments. And if your frequency has been raised by this channel, the act of liking this broadcast and activating the subscription bell functions as an individual frequency adjustment. You are notified of upcoming broadcasts at the exact instant the command releases them, without three-dimensional plane delay, without shadow algorithm interference. The time is now. The final phase has begun. The veil is tearing, and you have been called by name, even if you do not yet remember it. This is Ashtar Sharon. End of broadcast. Keep your light high, keep your toroid sealed, and until the next frequency.